Hiyo, it's the Borkies. Hey up lads, and today this is actually quite a good video. I've got for you this, well, I'm just chilling here with a bag of Monster Munch. Thought I might as well do a little movie review. This is the first ever on my channel, so I might as well, and this is actually one of my favourites. The Warriors. Let's begin. Okay, so The Warriors, I think it came out in like 1979. I know a lot about the movie, I absolutely love the franchise. It was good for the franchise, in my opinion, that they didn't make a second one. It was great just by itself. And it actually had a pretty awesome game, developed by Rockstar Games, actually, on the PS2 and the PSP. I'm not sure about the original Xbox, but that game was awesome, and I completed it like 80 million times, trust. Basically, story goes, it comes in, and all the warriors, the leader called Cleon, he's telling all the warriors about how we're going to the massive meeting with all the gangs in New York. I think it's New York, about Cyprus, and Cyprus is like, he's like the main dude. He's like the biggest gangster, yeah, out of all of them. So this guy, he basically runs the show, and it goes through a pretty awesome intro actually, from a montage of every single gang in New York getting on each train, and it's pretty awesome. And it's like going through each character, like talking to each other, like, what do you know about Cyprus? Do you know any other gangs? And it's pretty damn awesome. Next up, we come to the scene, the main, or one of the main scenes in the film actually, the Cyprus speech saying that we all have a bit of territory, all that sort of stuff, normal. And now one of the gangs, oh my god, I forgot what we're called now, guys, but the main guy, the guy who frames the Warriors for shooting Cyprus. By the way, spoilers. He basically, this gangster, I forgot the name of the gang and the gangster, I'm so sorry guys, but I might put it down in the description if I can remember it. But he shoots him and then frames it on the Warriors. He flames it on Cleon, and Cleon goes to check if Cyprus is alright, but Cyprus's gang ain't having none of it. They don't believe him, and Cleon, I think we all know what's going off. Now Cleon is out at the scene. Cleon basically gets killed in action, talking KIA, GBH sort of style, you know what I mean? So, pretty gruesome stuff. You didn't actually see him die, but you know he's getting the crap kicked out of him. Next up is like this scene where Rembrandt is like looking over into the distance. Don't know what he's doing, to be honest. He's like having a normal look at New York, and he's having a look for when the next train appears. And now this is where Swan, who is like the second war chief. So now that Cleon dies, Cleon before apparently said Swan is like the new war chief if he ever goes away. So and Ajax, who's another one, he's probably my favourite warrior. He isn't happy with that, so he's like confronting him, saying, "Oh, why are you the new war chief? Why can't I be the war chief? How are you the new war chief?" And he's like trying to start all this like conflict with Swan, but all the other warriors is like saying, just back off, man, he's the new war chief, you can't really argue with him. So, through loads of pointless stuff, they managed to get to the train. But before something else happens, now, like the radio stations, now that Cyprus news is spreading like wildfire all over New York, and the news guy, like he's a woman actually, and she's quite anonymous, and I don't know, she kinda, for some reason, she's really cool. I kinda like her. She kinda reminds me of, oh god, she kinda reminds me of Veteran Child from the video game Saints Row 2, if you know what I mean. If you ever played Saints Row 2, you'll know what I'm talking about. But she's pretty cool. She's cooler than Veteran Child, though. But it's spreading like wildfire, and then all these gangs at the Baseville Furies, the hi-hats, the pimps, they're going all over. The Turnbull ACs, these are looking for the Warriors, so the Warriors are like big they're in trouble. So now they're running, little montage, running through the rain, trying to get to the train. You know what I mean? Now they're backing off. Next minute, they're like in this like little alley thing. It's pretty cool. Like Turnbull ACs, like it's pretty cool. They have like this massive truck thing, kind of like something like from 1940 or something, and they're like walking down the street. The Warriors think it's okay, but for some odd reason, I mean, like, it's so cliche, the Turnbull ACs do a random U-turn and start bullying down the street. This is when Fox comes up to Swan and says, "Hey, we're going to go for it," and they do, and they run out into the middle of the street. It's pretty cool how the action keeps up with the scene. They're running, and the Turnbull ACs driving after him. I mean, like, it's pretty obvious that the Warriors are going to get away with it. How the Turnbull ACs didn't catch him, and this is when they run off. And a great little add-on is where Ajax, just before he moves out of the way, flips him the finger and basically hiding behind his post. And one of the Turnbull ACs slacks a 4x4 on the side of it, and nearly hits Ajax in the face. And now they're running up next to the train. Then the Turnbull ACs run after him. Luckily, they get onto the train and like celebrating and everything. Blah 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 blah. More pointless stuff. This is when they get off the train, where accidental fire happens, and blah 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 blah. So this is caused by the orphans. I think it was caused by the orphans, if I'm not being stupid, because Thinger, and then all this stuff goes down, blah blah blah, more pointless stuff. They run into this territory where the orphans are, and now they're having a talk with the Edat, blah 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 blah. A couple of dialogues later, they're saying, "Oh yeah, you can walk through here if you're not causing any trouble, just take off like your jacket." And they're not having that. Then this chick called Mercy pops up saying, "Oh, you ain't got any balls," and like, "Oh yeah, the Warrior's walking through," when in reality she actually quite likes Swan, and she's kind of following him, and they're like walking off and blah 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 blah. Next minute, cut to the point, Mercy follows them, rips them off, Molotov cocktail into car, blows up. Two orphans go down, go flying. It's actually pretty funny. Then they're walking into the train. Now, what's up with the next scene? This is where, that's it guys, they're called the Rogues. They enter like this little shop thing, pick up like a bunch of chocolate, and she's like, "Hey, you're not paying for it." And he gets like really frustrated for some reason. Next up, I forgot what scene is actually after this. Meet at that central park bit, that's right. So they're all splitting up, and they walk through like this main bit, and this is where Ajax, this is when they meet up with the baseball furies. Now, this is probably one of the best scenes in the movie, to be quite honest. And they all have conflict, and probably the funniest quote in the entire movie is where Ajax turns around to one woman and says, quite politely, "I'm going to shove that baseball bat up your ass and turn you into a popsicle." At this point, I literally pissed myself laughing. Back in them, like, the first time I watched this movie when I was like 5, and I did not know what a popsicle meant, but it's basically just the American version for ice lolly, so, you know. So, of the conflict. Now, these guys all run off with some of the warriors. Cowboy, Snow and Swan walk off while Ajax starts getting mad and checks up with this chick and basically starts getting a bit rough with her. Now this chick is actually an undercover cop and like clips his hand or something next to a park bench, and then Ajax gets arrested. And that's it. When they're running through, just before this scene, guys, sorry I forgot, there's a little confrontation down at the trains where Fox and one of the police officers a little kerfuffle, and unfortunately the police officer manages to throw the last minute Fox onto the train tracks, and unfortunately Fox dies from the train running him over. That's when it comes to this point. Now they have to split up. Swan and Mercy are by themselves because Mercy like followed him or something, and like, I think she's like a pervert or something. But then this comes to this next scene where Vermin, Rembrandt and Cochise get off this train, and that's when this gang called the Lizzies get involved, and these are like a bunch of girls, and these guys know that they killed Cyprus, so they flirt with him, so they're trying to like lure him into their kind of thing. While the Warriors are thinking they're going to get some, basically the Lizzies are saying, yeah, they'll get some of their body because they're going to be killing their ass. That's a terrible joke, but anyway. They lure him back to like this little hideout thing, and they all start making out, blah 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 blah. And one of the main ones goes up to, I think it's like Cochise or something, and he's saying, you guys are the Warriors? And he's like, yeah, we're the Warriors, cool, we're like the best gang ever. Cut long short, she's like, no, I'm gonna shoot your ass, and then like Rembrandt's like, oh, the chicks are loaded, and that's when like this awesome scene like comes out, and like all the Lizzies and the Warriors are having like a fight, and this is pretty goddamn awesome, and it's really goddamn cool. And then Rembrandt blasts through the door like he's in like Die Hard or something, so pretty cool. Next scene comes up, and this is one of the final scenes in the movie actually. They're walking through like an abandoned sort of train, and there's this gang that's following them, I forgot, but they're all wearing roller skates for some reason. It's like they're 12 years old or something, but anyway, they're carrying on, and they go into the toilets. And this is when the gang's following into toilets, and they're like all hiding in each toilet. This is where all the Warriors reunite, and they're like all hiding in each toilet, and they're like going in and inspecting them by thing. And this is when the best fight scene of the movie ever happens. Like he like all busts out and like smashing people's heads in. A pretty cool one, I think, is where Swan like bloody drop kicks someone into the bloody thing and like smashes their head on the side of the toilet. He's awesome. And getting on the final train, and it's just like, this is just a pointless scene, but he's pretty cool actually. I quite find it pretty almost heartwarming. Now a couple, like, it's pretty pointless, but it kind of like suits the mood in after that scene, if you know what I mean. It sounds a bit weird, but like this couple from like a prom gets on, and they're all dressed nice, like from the prom, and they look across, and Swan and Mercy sat there, and they're all dirty and that. So it's like comparing them, and then they get off at Corner. That's where they come from. So you got to remember they've travelled like 1,000 miles. Blah, 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 blah. Loads of dialogue later, and like they drop this rose or something. It's pretty pointless, but you know. And like Mercy's like, "Why are you giving me this rose?" And it's like, "I just hate to see anything go to waste." So that's pretty cool. And this is probably the best scene of the entire movie. It's not a fight, but it's just pretty cool. As the Warriors think they've got away with anything, the rogues come out of nowhere, and that's when the main dude, I think everyone knows this scene if you've seen the movie, and I'm just gonna, he's got like bottles attached to like his fingers, pretty cool, and he's like clicking them together, and he's like, "Warriors come out to play," and it's like, he keeps on repeating that, and it's really cool. Now the rogues and the Warriors meet on the beach, and he's like, "Oh, you killed Cypress," and they're like, "Why are you framing it on us?" And he's like, "Why did you kill Cypress?" And he's like, "Just 1 or 2, you know, thing." Next minute, the riffs. These are like the main guys. This is where Cypress comes from, and he's like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. And loads of dialogue later, and Swan goes up to the main leader of the Rogues. I forgot what his name is. It's so an easy name as well. I think it's like Lester or something. I forgot. But either way, he's like, "You only 1-on-1." He's like, "You're gonna die." And he pulls out a gun, tries to shoot him. But at the last second, it is so cheesy but so good. Like Swan in like slow motion, like lobs like a knife at his hand, and he like, "No!" And this is when like he wins the fight, and then the riffs come in, and he's like thinking, and like all the rogues like holding together, and they just walk in, and they tell the Warriors to basically, "You're okay, walk off," and then. It's so funny, like, they all join in the riffs onto, like, the little gang of rogues, and the main leader goes, "No!" And it is so funny. But that's basically the end of the movie, and then, like, this awesome, like, last scene along just walking the beach, with, like, some cool music in the background, and the credits roll. All in all, I love the Warriors. No wonder why I've got the Blu-ray, and I used to have the normal DVD, but I really don't know where it went, to be quite honest. But, awesome movie, in all, because I'm into like cheesy movies, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. But an average score, for the average movie lover, I'd probably give this around a 7.5 out of 10 to, I'd probably give it a 5.5 out of 10 to a 7.5. Minimum 4 out of 10, maximum 8 out of 10. Pretty good movie, I love it, awesome fun. This has been one of the longest videos I've ever made actually. Hope you enjoyed this movie review guys. Peace out. Bang!